46 years in prison. I was 19 years old in 1976. Well, people have at times no way of knowing when you changed or how you changed. And living in the prison system, the DOC, it's hard to show your change. When I say it's hard to show your change, people really don't care in that form of the DOC whether you changed or not. They treat everybody the same. So sometimes a person like me get left behind because they're not paying attention to lifers.
There's so many people who fall through the cracks. There's a FAM report that came out that cited that by the year 2030, 1/3 of all people who are incarcerated are going to be over the age of 55. And so what that means is that we have a crisis of people who are aging behind bars, of our elders, community members who are behind bars, and who are not getting appropriate medical care. We don't really sit and think, okay, well, what does it really mean to age behind bars? Like, what does it really mean to die in a cage in prison? And what do those last few years look like?
You know, some people say this is a good situation, some people say it's a bad situation, but I think it's a situation where it confuses you. You know, you got to make a decision. And you got to make a decision on your life like that. It's not like you're given a whole lot of time. Like when I was still in prison and I was going through the paperwork of compassionate release, and they told me the criteria, it didn't make a lot of sense to me, because you're telling me that the only way that I can get out of here is if I'm dying. If somebody say he has so much time to live.
The Compassionate Release Statute in Pennsylvania is actually really far from compassionate. It's drafted in a really narrow way where it is technically supposed to entitle folks who are incarcerated to release if they are terminally ill. It has a few very strict requirements. They also require that a treating physician says that you have less than 1 year to live, and they have to provide a letter saying that.
And that's not, and I don't think that's right. 46 years is too much time. My head been straight years ago. And I stopped blaming them, and that's when I stopped blaming other people for things that I've done, what got me here. I stopped blaming the prison guards who was there because the judges and the lawyers and my lawyer and the district attorney's office, I stopped blaming everybody. And I looked at things that I did this. I put myself here, right? No, I don't deserve to be in jail for 46 years, you know, but I put myself here. Once I started taking responsibility for the things that I've done and what got me here, it made me, everything was so much easier as far as admitting to it. Because for years I was lying to myself, to my family, and, and to other people. But most important, I lied to his family. And his family didn't deserve a lie. They deserved the truth of how their son died and why their son died. And once I did that, it took a lot off my back. You know, I felt much, much better to get the truth out. But I would have done that in 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. It didn't have to take 46 years.
I think what we've seen is that there's been a trend of really serious and harsh sentences that get handed down. And just with the bang of a gavel, folks are sentenced to life without parole. And there needs to be a reckoning with the fact that as certain as it is that all of us are born, we're all going to die. We're all going to transition. And there are absolutely proactively things that we can do to make sure that folks are afforded the dignity that they deserve when they are aging behind bars, because these are our elders.
We get back to the word compassionate. Where is it at? I mean, I don't want to talk to a Democrat. I don't want to talk to a Republican. I want to talk to a human being. And I want to appeal to a human. Exactly how I feel about being out here right now. And the people that I left behind that's in the same position that I am in. Because a lot of people, and you might ask me how would I know that, but a lot of people have died that didn't have to die. And they've been getting away, the DOC, Department of Correction, been getting away with it for so long that they didn't think that this, with me, would happen. They never thought this would happen.
I think an ideal compassionate release statute would allow for folks who are geriatric, you know, that's a word really just to capture anyone who's older, you know, which in the prison setting is really anyone who's over 50. It would allow anyone who's elder, who's served a portion of their sentence, to petition the courts to permit them to be released. You know, obviously there would have to be a determination into their conduct at the prison, how they've changed over time. But I think an actually compassionate statute would be one that doesn't require that a doctor make any kind of determination about someone's life expectancy, because it would permit them to get the treatment that they deserve. You know, it would permit them to get the treatment that would give them dignity, to be with their family, to be with their community, and transition in the way that they choose.